Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this horse cake topper. Now you may have seen this tutorial before on my YouTube channel, but this is a much more in-depth tutorial. Okay, let's begin. So I coloured some white modelling paste brown with Sugarflair's dark brown modelling paste, and I'm just going to form about 50 grams of the modelling paste into a egg shape. So it's fairly big. And now I'm just going to use my fingers just to gently tease out from the bottom, the wider part of the egg, to make some legs. And now I'm just making it a bit narrow at the top for a little bit of a neck. And now I'm just using the tips of my fingers to pinch the ends of the legs out to make them slightly wider. So now I'm going to make some hooves with some darker brown modelling paste, which I coloured with the same food colouring paste as before, just use a little bit more. And we start with 2 ball size so we get the same size, and we just flatten them so they'll fit on the end of the feet. So once we're happy that they're the same size, just going to stick them on to the bottom of the legs. So I'm using a clear alcohol to do this, but you could also use an edible glue, and just so you know, I'll leave a link to everything used in this tutorial in the description. So now we're going to make the arms, and we start with 2 balls of modelling paste again to make sure we get the same size. So firstly we're going to form them into a tube, making slightly tapered at one end so it's thinner at one end. I like to do them together so you make sure you're going to get the same size. And then what we're going to do, we're going to flatten one end and just pinch that out just as we did with the legs. And then we're going to form the narrower end inwards towards the body where the shoulders would be. So now I'm just going to use some clear alcohol to stick them into position. Okay, so now I'm going to make another set of hooves in exactly the same way as I did before. So now I'm going to insert a piece of spaghetti through the body and leaving a little bit at the top to put the head on with. Obviously, if you do make this for somebody, make sure you tell them there's spaghetti in the middle of it. But this will just support the head. So now I'm going to make the horseshoes using some grey modelling paste. I made this colour by adding a tiny amount of black food colouring paste to the white. So first of all, I've just rolled it out to a strip, and then I'm just going to cut out an even thinner strip with my knife. So once I've got the size that I need, I'm just going to gently tease it round into a horseshoe shape. And next I'm just going to make some little circles onto the horseshoe using a small round piping tip. So I'm happy with that horseshoe, and I'm going to make 3 more, exactly the same size. And once I'm happy with them, you can see that I've stuck them onto the hooves, and you can use a tool just to shape them if you like. So now it's a good idea to let your body set a while so it hardens and can take the weight of the head, as a horse's head is quite big. I left mine overnight. To make the head, I formed about 25 grams of modelling paste into a kind of peanut shape. Just going to bring it higher up at one end where the eyes will go. So now I'm going to use the scallop end of my scallop and comb tool to mark a smile onto the horse's face. And now I'm using the smaller end of my bone tool to mark some nostrils. And now I'm going to use the smaller end of my bone tool to mark where the eyes will go. And I'm just going to turn it around just to make them a little bit bigger. Now I've got the initial marks. So I'm just going to stick 2 small balls of brown modelling paste into the nostrils. Just going to pop them in there and then secure it with my ball tool. Now I've got 2 balls of white modelling paste which I'm just going to stick into the eye sockets. So I'm just using my bone tool just to push those in and just to mark another little circular indent. So I've got 2 small balls of brown modelling paste, the same colour as the hooves. And I'm just going to stick them into those pre-made holes. And again I'm securing with my ball tool. And now I'm just going to make some small circular holes with the smaller end of my ball tool for the pupils. And for those pupils I'm just using 2 small black sugar pearls. So I'm just going to stick them into position and secure with my ball tool. And now I've got 2 tiny balls of white modelling paste and I'm just going to stick each one in the eye about 1 o'clock just for a highlight. And then again secure with my ball tool. So now I'm going to make the ears by forming 2 small balls of brown modelling paste into flat triangle shapes, about a pea size. Make sure they're the same size. And then I'm just going to stick them onto the head. I'm going to use my bone tool to help stick it onto the head, kind of applying a downwards pressure while also making a nice little curve in there so I can add a little bit of pink. So now I've just got 2 small balls of pink modelling paste which I'm going to stick into the ears. And I'm just going to secure them with my bone tool. So now I'm going to make the horse's tail by forming some of the darker brown modelling paste into a tube. I'm going to taper it at either end and then just make one end a little bit thicker than the other. So we'll see the thicker end is going to go towards the back. Just add a little bit of clear alcohol and then stick that around the body. And then I want it to flick out a little bit, so there's a little bit of a gap between the leg and the tail. And I'm just going to use the knife from my knife and scriber tool just to go around and just to create some little lines. Okay, so now I'm going to make the mane, and I'm going to do this by forming some small pieces of dark brown modelling paste into tear shapes. I make a few at a time, and then I'm just going to stick these onto the top of the head around the ears. I'm going to use the ears as a means of holding them into position so they've got something to stick to. You can flip the little ends up. And then I'm going to use my knife tool again to texture. So now I'm just going to carry on behind the ears in exactly the same way, and then all down one side of the head. And here I'm just flicking the mane out a little bit just to style it slightly. Okay, that's your horse cape topper made. And here you can see that I've also made a grey one with white down the front and darker grey over the eyes for eyelashes. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Please don't forget to check out my other ones. Please comment, like and subscribe for more, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.